Hello everyone, welcome back to another Facebook live yoga class. I hope you're having a lovely Easter Sunday and I hope you've had a good weekend. Plenty of time to eat as many chocolate eggs as you like, which is kind of sad because I've not had one yet, but I've got one sitting waiting for me, so I'll be tucking into it after this. So yes, chocolate eggs aside, if you're joining me today, we are going to be taking a look at our hip flexors, in particular the psoas muscle. So the psoas muscles, separate muscles, but together they attach at your sort of lower back, travel through your pelvis, and then attach at the top of your legs, at your femurs. So these are really important muscles. They bring the legs to the body, they help us walk, they help us jump, they help us go up the stairs, and they're really important for our posture as well. And if these muscles get tight, they impact your lower back, and then if these muscles get weak, they impact your lower back. So really important to work on strengthening and lengthening these hip flexor muscles as much as possible. Now, some of the movements we're going to do today, you'll notice that the quad wants to get involved. So the quad is a very handy muscle, obviously very big, very strong, but we're going to see if we can let go of the quad and actually work the psoas. So it's going to be tricky, it's going to be fun. We're going to spend the first part of the class on our backs, doing lots of like leg raisey type movements to wake these hip flexors up. And then the sort of second part-ish of the class, we're going to work on stretching these muscles back out. So in yoga, we're always trying to find a balance between strength and flexibility. We don't want things to get super strong and super tight, and we don't want things to get super flexible and super weak. Always trying to find that balance. So one thing you may need, and you might only need this for one posture, so it's definitely not essential, is if your hamstrings are tight, you perhaps want to have a dressing gown cord or a belt or a towel or a yoga strap nearby. But like I said, not essential. You may need it for the first posture, but I think most people tend to be all right in it. All right, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun class. Going to get the top of the legs nice and warm. Yeah, so I think we're ready to start. As always, if you're working with any specific injuries, then you need to make sure you're talking to a doctor. I think I need a moderator for the chat. So I'm actually a yoga teacher, so I'm teaching yoga. I'm not flirting. No one's flirting in the chat. If you're a creeper, you can just get off this video because we're doing the yoga postures. We're not dating. All right. So with that in mind, in any injuries, go talk to a doctor. Check with your doctor before doing this class. But I think we're ready to go. I feel like that's ruined my vibe. So anyway, come on to the backs. I've got no patience. I've got no time for it. So let's chill out a little bit, shall we? So come lie flat on your backs. Now, if this isn't comfortable, you can have the knees bent. So if you know you've got a history of back problems, have your knees bent, have the feet on the floor, and this is gonna just help the lower back feel more protected. But if your back's okay, just have the legs straight down the mat and let the feet fall out sideways. Hands a little way away from the body, palms facing up. And then you can have the eyes open or you can close your eyes. We start every yoga class like this. Just bringing the attention into the room. Bringing the attention to the breath and also bringing the attention to the sensations in the body. So starting to slow everything down, starting to slow the breath down, trying to find a steady rhythm. So we want to maintain a slow rhythm, but at no point do we want to feel like we're running out of breath. We're trying to make the inhales and exhales equal in length. We're breathing through the nose if possible, and we're moving the breath up into the chest. So feeling the rib cage rise and fall. And even breathing deeply like this, you can start to stretch into upper back muscles, the muscles between the ribs. And then just take your attention around the body. So noticing any areas that feel tight, injuries you need to be mindful of. So because I'm not there with you, you need to be your own best teacher. So if anything hurts, I mean, there's different qualities of pain. Sharp and shooting sensations we want to avoid, absolutely. But if things feel a little bit burny, a little bit crampy, a little bit intense, it's usually a sign that you're just stretching muscles that you're not used to stretching, or working muscles you're not used to working. So part of yoga also, I feel, is starting to notice like different qualities of pain and notice what movements work with our body, when we can push a little bit deeper and when we need to pull back. So building this sort of body awareness that we can carry with us throughout our everyday lives, and it just helps us to live more happily and more safely. So we'll start to build that today as well. Taking a couple more deep breaths here. Okay, and then open your eyes if your eyes are shut, and we'll begin with a cat stretch. So point both feet down the mat, arms overhead, lengthen. So really point the toes and lift the arms. We're making ourselves as long as we possibly can, and you're going to feel the stretch travel from the fingertips all the way down to the toes. So you may feel this shoulders, lower back, tops of the legs. That's the area we're focusing on today. So the more you point the toes, the deeper the sensation in the tops of the legs. You may feel a little arch lift in your lower back. Hold it here for a few more breaths. And then exhale. Hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side and make circles. So keep the back of the head on the floor and then use the hands around the knees or the shins to make these rotations. So squeezing the thighs in towards the belly as you roll. Lovely thing to do for your lower back, especially if you've been sitting down quite a lot recently, and who hasn't, am I right? And then bring both feet to the floor. All right, so this is the posture that you may potentially need your strap in. We're going to leave our left knee bent, left foot on the floor, and then you're just going to take the back of the right thigh with both hands. Now, if you know your hamstrings are tight, you might want to take a strap or a belt or a dressing gown cord around the back of the right thigh instead of the hands. Otherwise, as you inhale, we're going to extend the right leg up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to begin with this very lovely hamstring stretch. One of my favourites. So trying to get that right leg as straight as possible. Really working the right toes back to draw the stretch into the calf, the hamstring. The right foot's just resting on the floor. And as much as possible, we want to keep the shoulders relaxed. So the shoulders roll down into the mat and the chest is broad. The chin tucks in so the neck is long, and then hold it here. So reasons you might want to use a prop around the back of the right thigh. If it's really difficult to keep your shoulders down, if the back of the head's lifting, and if it feels like you're pulling your arms out the sockets, use a strap instead, all right? No problem. Again, working with our bodies. Just noticing how that right hamstring feels. And then once you've noticed how it feels, take your attention back to the breath. So we're always keeping that steady rhythm. That's the one consistent thing really in all our practices. Our bodies change day to day, but trying to keep that slow pace through the nose with every exhale, maybe using the hands to ease the right toes higher above the face. So if you've got a bit of an Elvis leg, a little bit of a shake on, don't worry about it. Work with it. It's a big old stretch. You may even feel it come into your right glute if your right glute's tight. And remember, you can always have a little rest if you need a little rest. Otherwise, we're going to take this just a step further. Now keep the right leg where it is, keep the hands or the strap around the right leg, and then extend your left leg down the mat. So now we're getting both legs straight, working both toes back, and then see if you can ground down through the left calf. So if the groin's tight, that left calf might lift, press it down into the floor. It might be a little bit harder now to keep the shoulders down, but just do your best. And then take your attention back to the right leg and see if you can get it a little bit straighter. See if you can work those right toes back a little bit more. Okay, amazing. Now have a little look at your right leg. Your right leg is going to stay exactly where it is. In a minute, it's going to want to plonk back down to the floor, but we're not going to let it. We're going to see if we can keep the height. Now we're going to wake your hip flexors up. So keep the legs in the position they're in. The right leg is going to stay where it is, and then release the hands or the strap, place the hands either side of the body. So almost immediately, you're going to feel sort of this strength in the top of the right leg. Your hip flexors turning on now. Has to be working hard to keep the leg in the position it's in. We're still working both toes back. We're still getting the legs as straight as is possible. And then you're going to just hold it here till your right leg falls off. Now, if you can, if it is possible, see if you can bring the right toes a little bit higher above the face. So squeeze in that hip flexor. If you've not used these muscles before, this might feel a bit like torture, but it's very good for you. Hold it here. I feel like everyone's probably sitting at home thinking, when's she going to tell me to put my right leg down? Never. It's never coming down again. Now, there is one final part of this posture. If you choose, you can pick that left leg up off the floor just a couple of inches. So now the left leg's hovering, the right leg's extended straight up towards the ceiling, as high as you can possibly get it. And then you're going to feel that'd be quite good, feel quite strong here. It's crazy how hard we can work the body from a lying position. So we're going to hold it for a count of 5 and see if you can bring those right toes higher. So 5, 4, keep pulling the left toes back as well. 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. So lower the left leg and then slowly with control lower the right leg. Don't just whack it down. And then give your straight legs a shake. Lovely jubbly. Change inside. So to begin with, right knee bent, right foot on the floor, and then take the back of the left thigh, both hands or prop. And then as you inhale, extend left leg up towards the ceiling. So moving through that same sequence, let's remember our action points. So pulling the left toes back, getting that left leg as straight and as strong as you can get it. Right foot's just resting, base of the spine down, shoulders relaxed and chin tucked in. Obviously the breath, that slow steady rhythm, and then with every exhale maybe easing the leg back. But it's more important to get that leg straight. So if you're easing the leg back and then it's causing this really big bend in the knee and it's all very uncomfortable, don't bother. So this is really a deep enough stretch as it is, unless you've got like crazy hamstrings. And then you may even notice that one side feels totally different to the other. So usually we have a tight side, a stronger side. So just starting to notice these differences. Okay, then from here, we're going to extend the right leg down the mat. So now the right leg is straight. Both toes pull back. Leg shake is normal, and then see if you can ground down through the right calf. So bringing a groin stretch into it as well as left calf, left hamstring, maybe left glute. Keeping the right toes facing the ceiling as well. So it's quite, there's a lot going on with the left leg, the extended leg. It's very easy to forget about the foot on the floor. But keep the right toes facing up. Don't let the toes fall out sideways. Happens a lot. Doing amazing. Couple more moments here. And then have a little look at your left foot. Left foot is going to want to plonk down to the floor. We're not going to let it. We're going to keep the position it's in. So then release the hands, hands either side of the body, left leg stays straight, and then the top of your left leg's gonna start moaning. This is your hip flexor, it needs this work. So see if you can bring left toes higher above the face. See if you can get both legs a little bit straighter, maybe a little bit stronger. Doing really well. A few more moments here. Okay, and then from here, we're gonna, maybe if you choose, pick right leg up off the floor just a few inches, so now you're scissoring the legs. Both legs straight, both legs strong. See if you can work left foot back a little bit more. You might even feel some strong work going on in your core now, your lower belly, but try and keep the shoulders relaxed, keep the jaw relaxed, and we'll hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, relaxed. Right leg down, then very slowly bring the left leg down. Amazing, take a cat stretch. Point both feet down the mat, arms overhead, lengthen. So we were just contracting the muscles in the tops of the legs, now we're lengthening them, stretching them back out, always building strength and flexibility. And then as you exhale, hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side and make those circles again. So we'll do this in between the lion postures today just to bring some movement, some mobility in the back, so our backs don't get too tight from all this lying down. Yeah, and then bring both feet to the floor again. So in a similar vein, we're going to do something a little bit similar. So from here, straighten both legs. So both legs are straight, both legs are together, and the toes gently pull back. We're going to take the arms overhead, so the arms are on the floor and the palms are going to face up. And this is going to be our starting position. So as you inhale, very slowly with control, see if you can lift both legs up towards the ceiling. Okay. So you want to keep the base of the spine down. Both legs are together, both legs are straight, toes are gently pulling back towards the body. Now we are going to leave the left leg in the position it's in. So the left leg is going to stay extended up towards the ceiling. Okay? And then as you inhale, what we're going to do is inhale. So take a big inhale in. And then as you exhale down, so it's hovering a few inches off the floor, so very similar to what we just done. So hold it here. So the right leg is hovering a few inches off the floor, the left leg extended up towards the ceiling. You're going to notice that that left leg wants to travel down to meet the right, but don't let it. So it's always seeing if we can draw those left toes back. At least keep the left ankle over the hip. And we'll hold it here for a few more breaths. Okay, and then inhale, bring the right leg up to meet the left leg. And then as you exhale, lower the left leg down so it's hovering a few inches off the floor and the right leg stays where it is. See if you can avoid letting that right leg be pulled down with the left. So keep that ankle over the hip, maybe even bring the toes a little bit higher if possible. And you should definitely be feeling some strong work in the core and the tops of the legs. So a few more moments here. Okay, then inhale, bring left leg up to meet right leg. We'll do that again. And then exhale, lower right leg down so it's hovering a few inches off the floor. With control, hold it here. Left leg stays where it is. This is fun, isn't it? I told you it'd be fun. Okay, then inhale, right leg up. And last time, exhale, lower left leg down so it's hovering a few inches off the floor and keep the right leg where it is. So nice controlled movements all the way through this class today. Slowing everything right down. Okay, then inhale, left leg comes up to meet the right leg, and then as you exhale, lower both legs slowly down, slow as possible all the way to the floor. Amazing, and then from here just hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side and make those circles again. Okay, can't see you, but I know you're doing really well. We've got a couple more line postures to do, and then we're going to get up and do some more stuff. Just stuff. More yoga stuff. But first, legs straight. So legs straight back down the mat. We're going to leave the left leg straight, gently pull the left toes back, and the left toes are going to face the ceiling, okay? Hands are going to come either side of the body, and let that right leg be quite relaxed. So give the right leg a shake, make sure it's relaxed, and then as you inhale, just raise a relaxed right leg as high up as you possibly can, up towards the ceiling. So this is your hip flexor working. When the leg's quite relaxed, it has to be the psoas muscle that picks that leg up. But once you get that right leg as straight as possible, I want you to point the right toes. Now, once you pointed the right toes, you're going to feel the quad. The quad turns on, okay? So we use the psoas to pick the leg up, and then we use the quad to get that leg straight. So now you're in a position where the left leg is straight, the left toes pull back, and the right leg is pointed up towards the ceiling. Arms either side of the body, and then from here we're going to make a very slow, very controlled circle with that right leg. Now I've seen some funny variations of this posture. Some people like to rotate the right ankle. That's cheating. We're not rotating the right ankle. We're making a very small, very controlled circle with the whole of the right leg. Yes, we are. Now, just like all these postures, your right leg is going to want to start to travel towards the floor as it gets tired, but see if you can at least keep the height, or possibly bring the foot a little bit higher at the top of every circle. Alright, that's the challenging bit. Feeling that work in the top of the right leg, hip flexor, quad, core. And then begin to make that circle in the opposite direction. Smile, release any tension in your jaw, breathe. People get very tense in the upper body in this one, but just let the chest relax, shoulders relax, if possible. Few more moments here. Lovely circles. I bet you could probably make them slower and smaller though. Don't need to see you to know you probably could. Okay, then stop doing that, and then very slowly with control, right leg down. Give your legs a shake. Beautiful. Let's change sides. Right leg straight, right toes gently pull back, arms either side of the body, and then give your left leg a little shake. So remember, psoas lifts the leg up, and then we straighten the leg once it's up with the quad. So, inhale, left leg up, relax left leg, see how high you can get it. Might not be very high, that's okay. And then once you've got that height, I want you to point the left toes and straighten the leg. Okay, getting the hang of it now. So then from here, begin to make that very small, very slow controlled circle with the left foot. Bit like synchronized swimmers, but less fun because we're not in a swimming pool. Okay? Slow controlled circles. Slow controlled breath. Don't let that leg go down, keep the height. Maybe bring the leg a little bit higher at the top of every circle. Really challenge those hip flexors. Touch wood, no one's ever died from doing this posture, so you could probably work just a smidgen harder. And then make that circle in the opposite direction. Okay, a few more rounds. And then stop doing that, slowly with control, leg comes down to the floor. And then from here, we'll just take another cat stretch, so point both legs down the mat, arms overhead, lengthen, make yourself as long as you can. So keep bringing this movement back into it, just to stretch out the tops of the legs. And then exhale, hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side and make those circles again. Squeezing the thighs in towards the belly. Back of the head on the floor. And then both feet down. So we've got a couple more things to do. I want to do some leg raises. So we're going to do leg raises one leg at a time, and then we're going to do leg raises both legs at the time, and then we're done with the lion postures. Now, just like I was telling you in that last posture, the psoas, we're trying to get it to lift the leg. The quad bless it, wants to help. The quad really wants to help, but we're trying to get the quad away from this movement, and we're trying to really target that psoas muscle. So when we come through these leg raises, we're going to keep the legs as relaxed as possible, which means we're not going to point the toes, we're not going to flex the foot back, they're going to be nice and floppy in the legs. The reason we're doing one leg at a time first is just because I want you to get a feel for it, just in case both legs at a time impacts your back. You would come back to these one leg at a time variations. So if you want to lie flat on the back, you want to take your feet a little bit wider than your hips. So I pretty much have my feet nearly as wide as my mat. So don't have the legs together, have the legs apart. Hands either side of the body, and then give your legs a wobble. Your legs a shake. So no quad, no foot thing going on, no hamstring getting involved. Okay, let's start with the right leg. So as you inhale, slow as you possibly can, with control, lift the relaxed right leg up towards the ceiling as high as you can. You can even check by giving it a wobble on the way up. And then as you exhale, lower the relaxed right leg down so it's hovering a few inches off the floor. Okay? Inhale, leg comes up, no effort in the foot, no effort in the quad. And then exhale, lower that leg down so it's hovering a few inches off the floor. Inhale, relax leg up. Okay, doing really well. And then exhale, lower that leg down so it's hovering a few inches off the floor. You might notice how hard it is to do this relax. So inhale, leg comes up. Trying to target that psoas, get as high as you can. And then exhale, lower that leg down so it's hovering a few inches off the floor. Inhale, leg comes up, so we're lifting, we're not kicking, with control. And then exhale, lower that leg so it's hovering a few inches off the floor. A few more. Inhale, leg comes up with control. Should be hopefully feeling something now around that groiny area. And then exhale, lower that leg so it's hovering a few inches off the floor. Inhale, lift. Should be feeling something right around that pelvis area. And then exhale, lower. Lost count. One more. Inhale, lift high as you can, doing amazing. And then exhale, lower, hold the hover, hold it, hold that hover. All right, so hold the hover, few inches off the floor. Hopefully you're feeling something now, sort of inside of the right thigh, right up to pelvis, groin area, core. This is your psoas work, and if you're not feeling it, don't worry, it'll come. And then relax that leg. Give your legs a shake. Amazing, let's do the other side. So, legs wider than hips, legs apart, not together, hands either side of the body, and let's start working that left leg. So as you inhale, pick that left leg up, relax, give it a wiggle on the way up, no effort in the foot, no effort in the quad. And then exhale, lower left leg down, so it's hovering a few inches off the floor. Okay, inhale, relax leg up. High as you can get it. And then exhale, lower. Hovering off the floor, no effort in the leg. Okay, inhale, up, lift, don't kick, with control. And then exhale, lower. Don't let that foot hit the floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover. Nice relaxed legs, relaxed feet. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover. Few more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover. All right, two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover. All right, last one. Inhale, lift. Then exhale, we're going to hold that hover. So hold the leg, relax leg a few inches off the floor, And then feel that work, hopefully somewhere around the left groiny area, travelling up through the belly, your psoas working. And then relax that leg. Amazing. Take a cat stretch, point both toes, arms overhead, lengthen, make yourself as long as you can. And then hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side and make circles. Okay, we're ready. So, we are now going to have a go at doing both legs at the same time. If you have a sore back, do not, well, you can give it a go, but if it hurts, if the first one hurts, come back to doing right, left, right, left, right, left. So alternate the legs. If your back's okay, then absolutely both legs at the same time. Now, you don't have to lift the legs as high. You want the base of the spine to be down all the time. And when I say hover, just see what feels good on your back. So for some people, hovering at the legs, both of them at the same time, a few inches off the floor is a little bit too much. So you can always hover them higher, all right? So you're going to have to play around with it. But like I said, if this is not doing anything for your back, then come back to right, left, right, left. We're just going to do a few. Right, so legs a little bit wider than the hips. Again, we want both legs to be super relaxed. So no effort in the quad, no effort in the foot. Hands either side of the body. And then as you inhale, raise both legs up. So already quite difficult to get the feet off the floor. As high as they'll go with the base of the spine staying down. And then exhale, lower the relaxed legs so they're hovering off the floor. Okay, nice slow movements. Come back to alternate legs if this isn't doing it for you. Otherwise, inhale, lift. And then exhale, lower. Okay, so leg raises, they can be a bit challenging. Inhale, lift. So just do your best. Exhale, hover. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover. Just going to do 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover. Last one. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, slow as you can, lower legs down or leg down. And then take a cat stretch. Point both toes, arms overhead, lengthen. Then exhale, hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side. Okay, and then when you're ready, you can pop yourself up into seated. Right, so hopefully you're feeling that in the areas we want to feel it. So lying postures are really good. The leg raises can be a little bit challenging, especially for people with sore lower backs, but most of those other postures are very safe ways to work the core and the psoas while keeping the back really protected. But now we are going to come through a downward dog. We're going to do a standing thing, and then we're going to stretch all the muscles we've worked so hard back out. So downward dog, we'll do it together. If you've not done it before, don't worry, just come into whatever you think a downward dog is. As long as it doesn't hurt, you're experimenting, you're having fun. So come into all fours, fingers spread underneath the shoulders. Okay, your knees are underneath the hips. We are going to tuck our toes and then we're going to send our hips up and back. Okay, so downward dog. You want to look at me if you get a little bit confused. So downward dog, you can have the knees bent. The heels do not have to be on the floor. But if the heels are coming down on the floor, you can just let them do that. It all depends on your hamstrings. But knees bent is perfect. What we're trying to do is get a straight line from the hands up the arms, shooting out the back of the hips, and then your head relaxes. So your head just gently tilts back between the arms and you're looking back between the thighs. Okay, so fingers are spread and you're more than welcome to pedal those heels down one at a time if you want. Start working into the hamstrings and the calves if you feel like they need stretching. Otherwise you can keep this quite static and then just draw the thighs to the back of the room, maybe tilt the hips up towards the ceiling. So nice, slow, steady breaths up into the chest, through the nose. Another fantastic posture for your lower back, your legs, but also starting to strengthen the shoulders here. Doing too much with the shoulders today. And if you're quite new to yoga, downward dog can sometimes feel a little bit brutal on the wrists, but after a couple of months that dies down a bit. So it's getting used to some like that weight bearing through the hands. Okay, lovely. Last breath. And then as you inhale, you're going to walk, step or jump your feet between your hands. You're going to look forward. And then exhale, just let the head hang, so coming into a little forward fold. Hold this forward fold just for a couple of breaths, so feet are together. Knees can be as bent as you like, head is heavy. And then from here, we're going to inhale, swoop the arms up, so coming up to standing, look up, and then exhale, arms by your side. All right, we're up to standing. Give your shoulders a shake, give your body a shake. How are we doing? We good? Amazing. Hi, Isla. watching my moves. You should join in. Right. What am I doing? We're doing another strengthening thing. So come to the front of your mats, feet together, legs together. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a standing posture. We're going to bring the leg up towards the chest. I get so confused sometimes, but anything that I have to stand up, it takes me like 10 seconds to catch on what I'm doing. So we are going to stand on our left leg. I do it this way. Okay, we're going to take our hands to our hips, and then very simply, as you inhale, we're going to raise the right knee up. Okay, so standing on the left leg, raise the right knee up. So this movement here is hip flexor psoas. Anything that brings your leg closer to your body is the area we're trying to work now. So leaving that right leg quite relaxed, standing up nice and tall, hands on hips. So you're probably already noticing that this is quite strong in the left leg. Good. We want that left glute to be working. Pushing up through the left leg, so really trying to get that leg as strong as possible. And then if your balance is a bit dodgy, you're more than welcome to take that left hand to a wall. But what's really helpful is if you find a spot to stare at in front of you. Okay, so this might be enough, but we're going to take it one step further. Now on your inhale, see if you can keep that leg quite relaxed as you do it. So we're not flexing or pointing the toes. The knee will be bent. See if you can just extend that right leg. Ooh, all right. So the right leg, again, is quite relaxing. This is psoas, so don't do anything with that right foot. Don't do anything with the leg. Just see if you can pick it up. This is your hip flexor, feeling it in that groin area. Now, once you've got that right leg as high, then point the toes. The quad works to straighten the leg. Legs extended. Yes, it is. Hold it here for 5, 4, oh my God, 3, 2, and 1, relax. Oh my God, all right, you've gone bright red. That hurt more than I thought it would. All right, give your legs a shake. I'm right there with you, Let's change sides. So now we are standing on the right foot, hands to hips, and then to begin with, let's just raise that left knee. Okay, so get that right leg as strong as you can, push up through that leg, and then remember what we're trying to do. We're trying to target that psoas, that hip flexor. So we're not going to point or do anything with the foot. We're not going to straighten the leg and leave that knee quite bent, and then inhale, relax a sort of left leg up. Yes. So that leg's relaxed, it's lifted, then feel the work in the hip flexor. Hands are still on hips. Try not to lean back. See if you can keep the spine nice and long, and then point the left toes. Quad works to straighten the leg. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, make whatever noises you want, and 1, relax. Ooh, okay. Do a little dance if you want to do a little dance. I'm going to have a drink if you want. So hopefully you can feel the difference. between the psoas lifting the leg, the hip flexor, and the quad. Again, when we walk, sometimes what tends to happen is we walk with the quad. I don't know what that was, but we want to walk with the hip flexor, get the hip flexors working. So I think we're ready to stretch these muscles back out. So come to the front of your mat, feet together, ankles apart. It's been a fun class. Lift your shoulders, allow them to fall back, head slightly tilted forward. Take a couple of deep breaths here, because that posture was pretty intense. So you might have noticed that your breath started to get a little bit weird. So try and slow everything right down. Okay, so we're going to move through a sun salutation variation now. We're going to take it slow, so as you inhale, arms come up, look up. And then exhale, fold. So you're coming forward into a forward fold, bend the knees as much as you need to, head relaxes. Now from here, as you inhale, look forward, and then as you exhale, step back into plank, hold your planks. So plank, we've got our hands underneath our shoulders, the body's in one long line, straight line from the crown of the head all the way down to the heels. And then from here, as you inhale, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand, little tree. Yes, here we go. So I know that was a bit surprising. If you need to drag your right foot up towards your right hand, you do that. Now your left leg is straight, you're driving back through the left heel, and the right knee is over the ankle. Now sink your hips down, so try not to get your bum high, but see if you can straighten that left leg. So this is a posture called lizard. You should feel this really sort of nice stretch in the top of your left leg. We're also opening up into the right hip. Now we haven't done all that much with the hips today, but we're trying to get that hip. Nice, slow, steady breaths, hold it here. Now I've hurt my neck, so I'm looking straight down. If you've hurt your neck, you can look straight down. But if your neck's okay, I want you to look forward and shine the chest forward. Okay, we'll hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, from here step back into plank, and then on your next inhale, left foot to the outside of the left hand, or drag it up. Get that right leg as straight as possible, left knee over left ankle, then sink the hips down without letting that right leg bend. Okay, holding it here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. From here, step back into plank, and then we're just going to lower down to a very low press up all the floor. Inhale, a little back bend, and then exhale back into downward dog. Hold it here, nice, slow, steady breaths. So take a couple of minutes, just pushing the thighs back. You might want to pedal those hamstrings out again. Okay, then from here, just come down onto your knees, and then we'll take a child's pose. So feet together, knees as wide as the mat. Then sink your butt towards your heels. Try and get your bum and your heels as close together as possible, and then extend the arms out in front of you and let the forehead relax. So forehead might come down to floor. If it doesn't, just stay upright, stay on your forearms. Now if you're coming down low enough, you can come down chin and chest. All depends on your hips, your groin. Okay, then inhale back up into all fours. Okay, so I cheated a little bit there because I done like the hard posture before I done the slightly gentler posture. But it was fun, wasn't it? So now we're going to do a sort of gentle version of lizard. We're going to put a little twist into it to really stretch those hip flexors back out. So come into all fours, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and then we're going to step the right foot to the outside of the right hand, just like we done, and then scoot your left knee back, and then sink the hips down. So exactly the same as the last posture, except this time the back knee's on the floor, which makes it a little bit less strong, but doesn't make it less intense. Okay, again, I'm looking down because I have hurt my neck, but if possible, look up, chest forward. Oh, I can do it, okay. Better to be safe than sorry, isn't it? So, letting the hip sink down again. And you might feel this right hip, inside of right thigh, so right groin. But what we're really trying to focus on today is that big stretch down the front of the left leg. So this is a passive stretch, but it's not easy. Now if that back knee hurts, then you can pad that knee out. You can fold the mat up, or you can put a jumper underneath it, whatever. Just keep that right knee over the ankle today. So you can do some funky things in this, but for today, right knee is going to stay over the ankle. And keeping that right leg sucked in towards the arm. So sometimes a bit of a tendency for it to fall out, but today, keeping it sucked in. You are more than welcome at this point, if your hips can handle it, to come down onto your forearms. You can bend the elbows, sink down a bit deeper if that's appropriate for your body. I'm going to stay on straight arms today, but you can come down, otherwise someone's going to have to come around and pick me up, get me out of the posture, break quarantine. But you can come down forearms, bend elbows, whatever, knock yourself out. Taking a few more deep breaths here. So one of those postures really where you're trying to relax the areas we don't need. So we don't, I mean, a bit of effort in the arms and the shoulders with the hands on the floor, but we don't need them to be strong. We're not engaging any muscles. This is gravity doing most of the work for us. And then before your legs fall off, if you're on forearms or elbows, come up onto straight arms now. We're going to come into a little twist. So you may want to shuffle your left knee forward for this, just a few inches. And then very slowly, otherwise you're going to get horrendous cramp, just draw your left heel in towards your bum. Okay? So you can have a look at me if you get confused. Then from here, pick your right hand off the floor, reach the right hand back. So your left heel's coming in towards the butt, the right arm's reaching back, and this might be where you stay. If you can't take hold of that foot, you stay here, work that right shoulder back and gently look up towards the ceiling so the chest is opening up towards the right. Now, if you can, see if you can take hold of the left foot. And then from here, you draw the left heel in towards the bum and you pick up this rather intense little hip flexor quad stretch in the left leg. So keep that right shoulder lifted, that chest is nice and lifted, and then hold it here. You can also put a strap around that left foot if you've got one, and use the strap to ease the heel in. We'll hold it here for 5. Twisting lizard. 4. 3, still sinking the hips down. It's that sinking the hips down that creates that stretch. 2. And 1. So if you've got hold of the foot, release. If you haven't got hold of the foot, doesn't matter. We're all just going to bring our right hands back to the floor. And here's the fun part. We're going to step back into all fours. All right. So do whatever movement here you need to do to get some blood back into that right hip. And then we're going to change sides. We're nearly there and you're doing a fabulous job. So from all fours, we're going to step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. We're going to scooch the right knee back a few inches. We're going to keep that left knee over the ankle today, left leg sucked in, and then weight of the body sinks down. So picking up, hopefully, I mean, so many places you can feel this, left hip, left groin, but really today what I want you to just check in with, see if you can feel something, is the top of your right leg. So that right hip flexor quad area. And then if your neck's okay, look forward, chest faces forward. And then you have the option, whenever you like, to come down onto forearms or to bend the elbow you fancy working a little bit deeper, just bearing in mind we haven't done much with the hips today. Done stuff with the hip flexors, but not really the hips. Okay, doing amazing. It's the quietest I've been all class, isn't it? Alright, so if you're on your forearms, come up onto straight arms. From here, coming into that little twist. So you might want to bring that right knee forward, and then very slowly, to avoid cramp, draw the right heel in towards the butt. Left hand reaches around, and you can just let that left hand float if you can't take hold of the foot. But if you can take hold of the foot with the hands or the strap, really work that right heel in towards the bum, and then let the hips sink to feel that stretch in the top of the right leg. Your left shoulder lifts, and then you gently look up towards the ceiling. Again, I will not be doing it because I've hurt my neck, but you, if your neck's okay, do it. And then holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Left hand, and then step back into all fours, and then make your way into whichever variation of child's pose you like. You can have your knees wide, or you can have your knees together. Either way, bum towards heels, and then forehead lowers towards mat, arms out in front. Have a rest. Yeah, I don't know what I've done to my neck. I think I just, do you know, like I just kinked it, crinked it, hurt it. I just hurt it. It hurts to touch. So I think I might have pulled a muscle or something. I pull muscles stupid ways anyway, like walking or turning my head. So I just can't really twist my head right now. It's enough about me. Back up to all fours. Have a drink if you need to. We've got one more posture that I really want to work with today. I want to work a variation of a posture called Vipassana. It's frog pose. Now, frog is different in different traditions of yoga. In one variation of yoga, which is normal, like Hatha Yin, it means taking your legs akimbo and sinking the hips down and opening up into the groin. Now, the Ashtanga version is different. It works into the hip flexors, and that's the one we're going to be doing today. So, come onto your bellies. Yeah, last big posture. And come onto your forearms. Now, we're going to start with the left side. I just want to show you this posture. So now you're in a relaxed position. Just have a little look at me. What we're going to do is we're going to turn one forearm diagonally across the mat. This is just going to give us a better foundation. The feet are hip width apart, and then like before, very slowly just kick the heel in towards the bum. So you're just watching me, don't do it just yet. I want to show you something. So be mindful of not to get cramp. Sentences are going. And then from here, we're going to prop ourselves up and reach back and take hold of the foot, all right? So quite simple, unless you've got killer tight quads and hip flexors, in which case strap is going to be your friend here. So from here, there's a couple of things that go on. One is that people try and draw the heel in towards the bum, when actually this time we want to get the heel on the outside of the body. So you see that movement here? I want to be pressing my pelvis into the floor. So I don't want one hip to lift. So the pelvis is down, which means the foot is going to come to the outside of the body, okay? So if anything, eventually the heel comes down towards the floor on the outside of the hip. Now we're going to take hold of the foot, and the fingers can face back. Now if this is really brutal and you're up quite high and it's all uncomfortable, fingers face back is fine. You're just going to work the heel down and hopefully pick up that stretch in the front of the right leg. If the foot's coming down low enough, you're going to flip the grip. Okay, so what happens if the foot is coming down low enough, and it's only going to work if the foot's coming down low enough, you're going to move your hands to face the outside of the foot, and then you're going to move the hands to face forward. You see what happened to my elbow there? My elbow points up. So if possible, the fingers face the same way as the toes, and then you draw the heel down as you draw the right shoulder forward in this case. So it can look like this, or it can look a bit more like that. Doesn't matter, wherever you are is perfect. Let's give it a go. On your bellies, have a strap or a towel handy or something if you need it. On your forearms, let's do this, last posture. So we're going to cross our left forearm diagonally sort of across. It can be horizontal, but just don't have it like straight, because I just feel like it makes the posture very wobbly. So just bring the left forearm parallel today. Parallel? Diagonal. Right, here we go. So now, feet are hip width apart, just draw the right heel in towards the butt. Just draw it in, okay, be careful of cramp. Then press into that forearm to sort of lift the chest, roll the left shoulder back so you can take hold of the right foot. Step number 1, if you can't take hold of the foot, use a strap or a towel, fine. Fingers are going to face backwards, unless you want to give it a go and the foot's coming down low enough, in which case turn the fingers to face forward. Otherwise, whatever, up to you, doesn't really matter. Either way, get the foot on the outside of the hip and then very slowly draw the right heel down and then roll the right shoulder forward so the chest faces forward. Hopefully you are picking up this stretch in the top of the right leg. So we're going to hold it here. So there's also quite a little gentle back bend going on here as well, so be mindful and then just have a good time. So I'm going to hold it here for 5, keep drawing the heel down, 4, good, press the pelvis down as well, so we want both hip bones to be down, 3, doing it really well, 2, be mindful of the knee in this one as well, and 1, release. Oh, alright, give your legs a shake, let's change sides. On your forearms, right forearm comes diagonal, and then we're going to kick the left heel in towards the butt, be careful of cramp. Press into the right forearm to prop yourself up, so the chest isn't down, the chest is facing forward. Roll the left shoulder back, see if you can take hold of the left foot. Okay, from here we want to draw that right hip down and press the pelvis into the floor, and feel free to move the fingers to face forward if possible. Same thing, same thing. So foot's on the outside of the body, just draw the heel down, so if anything eventually the heel will touch the floor on the outside of the hip. It'll probably never happen for me, but you know, some of you might be there. And then left shoulder forward, chest faces forward, and breathe. All we're trying to do is feel a stretch here in the top of your left leg. So we'll hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, 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 amazing. And then from here, come up into all fours straight away, don't rest, come straight into child's pose. So you can have your feet together or knees wide, you can have your feet and knees together, and I just want you to hang out in child's pose for a couple of breaths. Okay, so like I said, that was, as well as the hip flexors, it is a little gentle back bend. There is a small back bend in it. So child's pose is a lovely thing to do afterwards. Starting to just stretch into the lower back again. So the body's super heavy here, no effort. Okay, and then very slowly make your way up into all fours, and then make your way onto your bums, and then make your way onto your backs, because we're done. We're going to come into Shavasana, or a variation of, for a minute or so. So lie flat on the floor, legs extended, or have your knees bent, feet on the floor if your back is a bit iffy, hands either side of the body, palms up. So we're finishing how we started, lying flat on the floor. Taking a couple of deep breaths, so you can breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth if that feels good. And letting the whole body relax. So we've worked hard today. So now nothing. The legs are heavy, the lower back's heavy, the shoulders, the arms, the back of the head, all pressing into the floor. And then after you've taken a few deeper breaths, you just bring your breath back to normal, so finding that steady rhythm that you have so in everyday life. So we're not trying to control the breath anymore, basically. then maybe take your attention around the body, check in, so see how you feel. So we've done a lot of strength building stuff in the hip flexors, and then a lot of stretchy stuff as well. So you may feel some leftover sensation in the tops of your legs, your hips, from those lizard postures we done. Okay, so you are more than welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you want. So I always recommend taking like 3 or 4 minutes in Shavasana. Otherwise, if you're done, you're busy, you can come out of the posture. So you can wiggle your fingers and your toes, extend your legs down the mat, arms overhead, cat stretch, make yourself as long as possible. One more time. And then exhale, hug your knees into your chest one more time. Rock from side to side and make those circles. Okay, and then if you're in Shavasana still, enjoy your Shavasana, otherwise rock up to seated, and you have just done another Facebook Live yoga class. So thank you so much for joining me, everyone, and I hope you had a great time. I'm glad, yeah, I'm dead. It's good though, it's good to work the body like this. Anyway, I can sit here and talk for ages, but I end up making an idiot out of myself. So I am going to head off. We've got a couple more classes throughout the week, so check my timetable, it's on my yoga page. We've got yoga for stress, good morning yoga, we've got a back bend thing coming up later on. And these classes are all up on my page for the week, so you can keep coming back to them, and I also upload them onto my YouTube channel, so you can keep redoing them if you want, and all donation based. I'll leave my PayPal information in the comments if you want to donate, but you don't have to, because it's a shit time for everyone. I wasn't sure if there was children listening, so if there is, I'm sorry that I just said that, but it is a bad time for everyone. All right, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Alex. Yeah, it's a bit of a class, wasn't it? But I'm sure you all done amazing. It sucks not to be there with you, but I hope that you're feeling motivated through the screen as well. Anyway, best head off, otherwise I'm gonna just be an idiot. So see you later. Bye, love, see you, bye.